Hi friends, welcome back to Dip Clinic. My name's Mike and I'm a cognitive behavioural therapist and first year trainee doctor in health psychology. Almost 1 in 10 of us will experience panic or panic attacks throughout our lifetime, but there's a very easy technique that we can use to overcome this, and that's why today we're going to look at something called 4-7-8 breathing. Let's get started. So first of all, let's take a look at what panic actually is. We usually associate panic with a feeling of being very uncomfortable or maybe feeling quite distressed. But ultimately, panic is something that arises from a mechanism called the fight or flight response. This is an evolutionary adaptation that our bodies have to detect and avoid danger. The fight or flight response initiates due to something called our sympathetic nervous system, and typically occurs because we perceive some sort of immediate threat to ourselves. When this fight or flight response starts, we have a release of chemicals in our brain. When these chemicals are released, we have a lot of physiological changes that happen to our body. So this can include an increased heart rate, shallower breathing, our pupils will dilate, we may get pins and needles and feel that our fingers or our toes have gone numb. And one of the most significant factors is that we start to hyperventilate. This mechanism was historically quite useful. So if we cast our minds back to a time where we may have been encountered with a large animal or a saber-toothed tiger, for example, that would be a very significant threat, and so we'd want to be able to either run away from that or be able to fight it. This process isn't so helpful nowadays because the threats that we experience are very different. This means that you can't fight or run away from your boss if you need to give a presentation at work, or start fighting the exam paper in the middle of that really important test. And so although these threats and our perception of them have changed over time, our biological processes haven't. And so it's really important to start thinking about how we can override this response and really start to take control of our anxiety and our panic as well. Fortunately, one of the ways that we know to manage this is a very simple, quick, and effective technique, and that's breathing. So let's take a closer look at the science of breathing. It's very well established that Tibetan Buddhist monks used breathing techniques in order to maintain a sense of calm, composure, and mindfulness. And there's a very interesting reason as to why this works. Widely speaking, we have 2 general processes involved in the fight or flight response, and that's the sympathetic nervous system, which we discussed earlier, and this gears us up for either taking on or running away from a threat. But there's also a component called the parasympathetic nervous system, and the parasympathetic nervous system is involved in something we call the rest and digest response. This means that actually by paying attention to our breathing and learning how to control and manage it, we're actually able to activate this parasympathetic nervous system, which helps us to feel calm. It's been well established that breathing techniques can support you in decreasing fatigue, reducing anxiety, improving stress management skills, and some studies have even shown that it can help improve migraine symptoms. And so now that we understand a little bit more about what our breathing does for us, let's take a look at how we can use it to our advantage. The simplest way that we use this technique is that we breathe in for 4 seconds, we hold our breath for 7, and we slowly exhale for 8 seconds. And I really love to use this because it can be done anywhere, anytime, and you can't use it too often, which makes it a very safe and very effective tool in managing anxiety. So let's put it into practice. I want you to try and get comfortable wherever you are, and really let your shoulders relax. And when you're ready, we're going to take a nice slow deep breath in. And after that breathing, you should notice that your heart rate has decreased and hopefully you're feeling a little bit calmer. This quickly and easily shows us how we can use breathing to our advantage and really take control of anxiety and panic when we experience those sensations. I hope that you'll find this to be a useful technique in managing anxiety going forward. As always, thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next one. Take care.